another Ask Adam. This time I've got a question from Ross Barron on my Facebook page. Thanks, Ross. How do you feel about performing art courses, including music, etc., getting cut across the country? He says he personally thinks that this is as bad as the UK music industry makes roughly £2 billion per year, if he remembers correctly, and that could dampen this figure. He says he's recently done an essay about it for his music course and would appreciate my opinion. Okay, Ross, yeah, like I said in a previous video regarding MP3s and piracy and torrenting, art is always the first area to suffer. So in an economic crisis, and this economic crisis, financial crisis, is happening globally, it's not just in the UK, art is always the first thing to suffer, because people see it as perhaps the least important thing. Like you said, performing arts, I'm glad you didn't just mention music, because dance suffers, art suffers, film suffers, etc. because they're seen as not as important, and maybe rightfully, maybe wrongfully so. I'm not here to debate that, as things like, you know, healthcare, manual trades, computing, ICT, business, that kind of thing. Now, I'm not here to argue what's more important and what is less important. That's not what I'm here to do. But I do think it's bad, because art forms a massively important part of culture. It forms a massively important part of history and of the future. So without art, without music, without dance, without fashion, not a fan of fashion at all, but without it, we would have next to no idea about what happened to humanity in the last several thousand years. So yeah, you know, people write down, this is what happened. So someone in 1700s probably wrote a diary, this is what happened in 1700, this is what's happening in 1701. A diary, a journal, there'll have been information like that, but that's very arbitrary, very biased look at history and look at what was going on at that time. Art can kind of bring to life lots of different emotions around the period, as can poetry and novels writing, and music can kind of bring out the emotion of what was happening at that time. Punk music was all about really angst, really angry, really anti-government, really anarchic, that music. So if we'd never recorded that music, and that music had never existed, or we never knew that it had existed, then all we'd have is a few notes in newspapers and things saying, you know, people are starting to hate the government, yeah, what's new, you know what I mean? People are angry and bitter, that kind of thing. And those are just words, and words are important, but we think, alright, yeah, maybe it was bad. But by listening to punk music, you can really feel what a lot of people felt at that time. So I think by cutting music and art, we're going to lose a lot of that. So in 100, 200 years, when people look back to see how we lived and how our culture was, because culture will be vastly different in 200 years' time, they look back to see, we'll be part of history, and they look back to see how we went on, what we believed in, what we were feeling at the time. Without music, without art, without dance, without film, there's only words. And like I say, words are important, but they can only do so much. This is a saying that I always use, I'm not sure where I got it from, but they say that a picture can tell 1,000 words. Okay, and that's very true. So you see a picture of what life was like at the time, and that brings around 1,000 words into your mind to describe that picture. Well, I think when you hear just one note of music, that can bring up 1,000 pictures. Okay, so that's bringing up thousands and thousands of words, and that's my belief. I appreciate I got a little sidetracked there, a little off topic, but basically what I'm saying is that music and performing arts is very, very important. I think perhaps the most important thing in a human's existence is good health and happiness. Okay, so health and happiness is the most important thing. But then after, so that includes things like healthcare, food and drink, okay? But then after that, the most important thing is entertainment. Without entertainment and without culture, people go insane, and people get bored, and that's when, you know, it can lead to a lot of trouble and a lot of problems in the world, okay? If people are bored, you know yourself, when you're bored, you'll do ridiculous things to entertain yourself. So first we have to look after our people with healthcare, with the right food, with the right diet, etc. And then we have to entertain them. So before I get too deep with that, Ross, I hope that answers your question. It'd be great to see video responses of you guys' views on this topic, okay? So until next time, guys, take it easy.